Hi you guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, my name is Hannah and I am a high school science teacher in the state of Florida. I teach at public school, so it's a wild ride. If you are not already, go ahead and subscribe to my channel because lately I've been posting videos at least once a week. It all depends on my Wi-Fi because I live in the middle of nowhere. But this week I wanted to share with you guys like my top behavior management tricks as a first year teacher, especially as a young teacher and especially as a high school teacher. So the very first behavior management trick that I introduced to my classroom was always meeting kids at the door with a smile, with a how are you, and I love you, and I always call them by name. If you greet a child every single morning, they are going to see you as a consistent adult in their life, and they are going to see you as someone who loves and cares about them. If kids love you, they will work for you. Usually. The second one I have is giving positive compliments instead of tear downs. So instead of like walking into the room and maybe half my kids haven't started the assignment, instead of being like, what are you doing? Why aren't you started yet? Blah, blah, blah. Get on it. Get on the assignment. Get started. Or else I've switched to the kids who were working and say, you know what? I really appreciate you. Or say like, you know, for all those who are working today, I'm just gonna throw 5 bonus points on their assignments. Do those kids really need those 5 bonus points? No, those are the kids who already have the A or B in my class. But the other students, like watching me pay attention to the ones who are, you know, rocking it, doing their assignments, killing it in the classroom. It makes them usually it kind of tricks them into wanting to also get a reward and also get a compliment, so that gets them started. I have kids who, you know, I don't want to say they necessarily don't deserve a compliment for the stuff they do in the classroom, but you know, if they come in and they cause chaos and they do this and they do that, but they do one thing right, even if it's just they ask to go to the bathroom nicely, I say, you know what, thank you so much for how you asked to go to the bathroom. That was so sweet. And it makes a huge difference. Like they really start performing better for you. And I'm really proud of my kids and I've been really proud of the progress. Nowadays, they don't, at least at my school, they don't say yes ma'am, no ma'am to teachers. If a teacher says something, they often want to, I don't want to say fight you on it, but they definitely want to argue it, or they want to know exactly why. And sometimes saying because I'm a teacher or because I said so is kind of a quick, abrasive comment that makes them more abrasive, and it just kind of escalates the situation. So honestly, with my kids, how my classroom structured is we come in, we immediately do 3 questions to warm up, we take notes, and we do a worksheet, typically, you know, fun stuff sprinkled in, of course. But instead of the kids asking me, being like, why do we have to do notes again? I'll be like, well, you know what? Honestly, the more times you guys write down this information, the better it sticks in your brains. Like, I'm just really trying to help you guys be successful, kind of giving them that real response about why we're doing something. Or they're like, I hand them a worksheet, they're like, you always make us do worksheets. And I say, well, you know what? I think doing worksheets every day, even though it might not be the most fun thing, it's gonna be what your job is like. You're gonna wake up and you're gonna go to your job and you're gonna do kind of the same thing every single day over and over again. So I wanna make sure you're successful in the workforce. And just kind of having those like quick little comebacks that are very real life, very calm, I found helps kind of like simmer down that reactivity. And that's been a huge benefit for me. The next thing I have is the bathroom situation. So kids like to go to the bathroom, whether it's to actually go to the bathroom, whether it's to text their friends, whether it's to make phone calls, do whatever. I have set it up so I'll let 3 kids go to the bathroom per class period, and I have a sign out sheet where they sign out. When they leave, they write down their name and the time. When they come back, they write down the time. You will have to patrol the times they write because they will write the incorrect ones if they're trying to get away with something. But basically, our school policy is if they're gone for more than 5 minutes, they're tardy, and if they're gone for more than 10 minutes, they're absent. So that's why I have to keep track of their times. But I think that's a really good tip or trick or policy to have in your classroom if your school doesn't have something set up like that, because it keeps our students way down on like their wandering, you know, go to the bathroom and just wander for 10 minutes around the school. Like, no, you got 5 minutes. And by making it so only 3 kids can go per class period, it sets it up so kids only really go when they need to, or it prevents it prevents kids just going from like one right after the other. And that's been a pretty big help. My mentor teacher, she says she only gives kids 3 bathroom passes per 9 weeks. Honestly, as a first year teacher, like my mind is already being taken up by so many different things. Like that just sounds overwhelming to me, but if that's your jam, that's your jam. Oh, the next thing I do is like my mentor teacher had suggested to me. It's where you kind of do like a system before the kids get like a referral. So at my school, when a kid does something office, like sent to the office worthy, they get a referral. So basically anytime a kid does something like breaks a rule, blatantly disrespectful, 5+ tardies, something that's, you know, equivalent to a detention or worse, you're supposed to write them a referral. So what I did is the first 9 weeks, I printed out all these pre-referral sheets, and all that was a time a child did the first thing wrong. I would say, hey, talk to me after class, and I would show them this sheet, and I would say, this is your very first warning for this violation. If it happens again, then I'm gonna call home. If they do it again, then I call them back over. I say, hey, this is what you've done wrong. I'm gonna call home and talk to your family. The next one, it's a referral. And so kind of by giving them the 2 little warnings before referral, it usually helped nip some of the behaviors in the butt. Because I find if some kids, if you just give them the max punishment, they just react worse and worse and worse. Like you never see them bettering themselves because they feel weighed down by all of the punishments. You know, punishment isn't always the best way to get kids to start moving in the right direction. So that works. I also call home to my parents when my kids get a 65 or lower. I know it sounded so weird to me when I was in high school. My teachers never called my parents, but it's kind of a necessity here, and I found that helps a lot. When I call home, I do the compliment sandwich, a positive about their child, what's going on, and then another positive. And honestly, I've had no bad parent I have yet to have a bad parent conversation. And so if you guys do that, I wish you luck. I know it can be kind of tricky to navigate, but the compliment sandwich works. And you know what? There's always positive things to say about at least every one of your kids. Another thing is like the mantra that I have like tell myself over and over again, especially at the beginning of the 9 weeks, was that was that my bad kids, they're not bad kids, they're having a bad time. So like maybe understanding where that bad time is coming from, or just understanding how to communicate with them in a positive way, and just showing that your room is a positive, safe place will work worlds. Now, this one is kind of, I don't want to say fun, but critical if you are young. Secrets. When you're a young teacher, kids will want to know everything about you. They're going to want to know your boyfriend's name, your dog's name, where do you live, how old you are when you graduated high school. Like literally every detail about you, they want to know. I have never, ever told my kids how old I was. I'm very young. Like I said, I graduated college just a handful of years ago. And I don't want my kids knowing that. My kids guess me at 28 to 38, and I just say, yeah, somewhere in there. Not their business. They don't need to know. And I find, you know, the older the kids think you are, kind of the more just natural authority they tend to assign you. And as a young teacher, that's going to be really hard. It's really hard to draw that line for the kiddos, saying like, I'm not your peer. I'm not your friend. I'm your teacher. So as a young teacher, be ready for that. Be ready for them wanting to know all these details about your life, and be ready for them having slightly inappropriate conversations in front of you. And it's really critical that you just kind of shut those down and be like, hey, you know what? You're disgusting me. I'll like make jokes, be like, oh, I need some soap for y'all's mouths. Or I'll say, ugh, you guys are disgusting. Or like, stop being so gross. Because you're going to hear everything. You're going to hear way too much about their personal lives, and it's going to be terrible. But it's just important, just like keep nipping that in the butt, because if they think they can have those conversations around you, they're going to start involving you in their conversations and you in their drama, and then Lord only knows where that goes. For behavior management that I do is like, if I ever hear the kids, I don't know why, but it's a big problem this year, is like kids saying mean things to each other. I don't know if you guys are having these problems at your school. If I ever hear that, I just say, hey, that was really rude. Like look at them and say, I'll either say one nice thing or say an apology. And they usually do apologize. and that kind of takes care of that. Or, you know, they say one nice thing. I just do not want them to feel like it's okay to be saying those types of things in my room, because I'm not okay with that. Number one, don't want to hear it. Number two, you just never know when's too far and when kids are playing. And then my very, very, very last suggestion is, for goodness sake, know your battles and choose them. There are going to be students that come in, and if they start getting crazy or being disrespectful or being rude, number one, something's probably wrong. Or number two, like you know you can discipline them kind of in a regular manner, where you're also gonna have students who you know are you are also gonna have students who you know are having like at-home problems. Choose those battles wisely, because you never know the type of reaction you're gonna get. So you're gonna learn your students. If you're watching this before you start teaching or your first 9 weeks, do not stress. The longer you're with your kids, the more you're gonna learn to understand them, and you're gonna learn which battles are correct, or you're gonna learn which battles are worth fighting, because choose them. There are gonna be students where if you fight every single battle, you're just gonna push them away, or you're gonna create more behavior issues. For instance, I have a student, like anytime I wrote a referral, he came back 3 times worse. And then I write another referral and it would get worse again. And I literally, just for him, switched to positive compliments. Like, you know, one day he came in and took his hat off as soon as he walked in the classroom. That was a thank you. And then for half the day, he was pretty good. And then, you know, it was just little things. And every day he got a little bit better, and he got more "I'm proud of you," more thank yous, and that was his behavior change. So those are all kind of my mumble jumble behavior management tips for first year teachers. Or here are my final 10, like quickly in review. They're not gonna be in order because honestly, I forgot, because it's the end of the day and I have teacher brain. Always greet your kids at the door with a smile. Call home. Seriously, call home. Establish those relationships with parents. They can help you out. But if you do, sandwich. Positive, negative, positive. Give positive compliments to your kids. Learn to choose when you're learn to choose your battles. Keep your private life private. They do not need to know everything. Make sure you establish that boundary between like being their teacher and being their peer, because you're not their peer, you're their teacher. Set up classroom expectations like bathroom plans. Seriously, if your kids know how your classroom is going to be operated and managed and how clean it's going to be, they're going to keep it to that standard, usually. But if you guys enjoyed, go ahead and comment down below any of your behavior management tips for other future teachers and new year teachers, or just really anyone to help a teacher out. Also, go and follow me on Instagram. It's at The Blissful Biologist. I post like just little quick funny stories on there. My day-to-day life, like the squirrel my kids brought me today. Baby squirrel, not even like 2 weeks old. And yeah, that's kind of it. I will see you guys next week. Next week is parent-teacher conference week, and it's my first one because the last one I was super sick during, but I'll see you guys when I see you.